Alright, the instructions that follow are for the installation of the valve pack onto the Zenith verti table. First step is going to be to replace the fitting and ferrule seal on this hydraulic hose and with a fresh one. There's a fresh one right here. And we're going to take our new valve pack, and our valve pack is upside down. This is right side up, this is upside down, and we're going to go ahead and present that to the hose and the new fitting and ferrule that we've installed on that hose. Okay. We'll get our open end 5/16 inch wrench, and we're going to tighten that up. And with the new fitting and especially the new plastic ferrule, we'll get a good seal in this area. Okay, and that's wrench tight. All right. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and turn over the valve pack, turning it counterclockwise, and we're going to place the valve pack into its two mounting points here and also over here. Okay. All right. Now it's in place. All right. Next step, we're going to take our two nylon stop nuts, and we're going to take our socket wrench, and we're going to go ahead and install those nuts to hold the valve pack to the base. And both of those will be tightened up. And then we'll move on to the attachment of the hydraulic hoses. The valve pack that's shipped out as a spare part, will note, has already been adjusted for properly orienting all the fittings in relation to the hoses on the table, as well as the valve pack has been run and calibrated to the factory specifications for the table. Now at this point we'll go ahead and connect up our first hydraulic hose. We've got our two open-end wrenches, 1/2 inch and 5/8, to get this job done. Okay, that's the top hose. It's going in. Following that, we will do the two bottom hoses on the left side and right side of the table. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and connect up the hydraulic hose on the right side of the table. We can see we've got the hose here, and we're going to use a 5/8 and 9/16 inch open end wrench, and we'll first start the thread, and then we'll go ahead and present our open end wrenches, finish that up. The tightening process is wrench tight. It's not necessary to crank hard on those fittings. It's certainly not hand tight, it's wrench tight. Okay, done. Now we'll come over to the left side of the table and we'll repeat the same process to connect up the second hose. Alright, so we've got our second hose here, and we'll go ahead and we'll start the thread on that. And again, we'll use our 5/8 and 9/16 inch open end wrenches, and we'll tighten up that wrench tight. Okay. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and connect up our final hydraulic fitting, top fitting. Here's our hose. And again, we'll start the threads by hand. And once started, we'll take our 5/8, 9/16 inch open end wrenches. We'll present that to the two fittings, one to hold, the second to turn. And once done wrench tight, that will complete the hydraulic fitting connections. Alright, the next step, we're going to go ahead and take our two capacitors, put them back into the worm clamp. And we just want to restrain the capacitors in here. We want to take care that we do not over tighten the worm clamp and crush the capacitor housing. Okay. Okay, and they're just restrained in there. All right, not over tightened. They're not under tightened, just restrained. All right, very good. All right, our next activity is to go ahead and route the power wire for the valve pack in place. Okay, we're done there. And we're bringing the Molex connectors just underneath the ribbon cable. Good. And we're going to go ahead and connect up the Molex connectors, the red connector to the rear of the power board and the black connector to the front of the power board. Okay. And we're going to dress that up. Then we're going to take our wiring for our capacitors and we're going to tuck that away. Good. And now we'll take two tie wraps to go ahead and just restrain the wiring in its intended position. There's one. And then number two, fish it in there and then just tighten that up. Alright, we'll go ahead and finish the activities on the installation of the valve pack. I'm going to clip the two wire ties that we've just put in place to hold the harness in place. 1, 2. At this point, we're going to go ahead and power up the table. We're going to plug it back into the wall. Okay. Power is available. Next step we're going to do is we're going to raise the table, and the purpose of raising the table is merely to remove our blocker, mechanical blocker. Okay, that's it. And with that we'll remove all of our protective coverings and that install the motor cover, and that completes the activities necessary to install the valve pack. Should there be any need to adjust the valve pack out in the field, please refer to the instructional video for VertiLift valve pack adjustment on YouTube, and you'll have all of the instructions there to do a proper job. Thank you.